Chuck, I have joked with this audience for a very long time, because joking about it's better than crying about it, and I would otherwise, that I've rarely ever seen a good pass rush with the Falcons in my lifetime. There have been some blips where it's like, oh, that was a good year. But it's never sustainable. It's not something they can do year after year. And I've always wondered what this mythical land of Oz is that I see in other cities like Baltimore, where they have pass rush all the time, or Denver, where they have pass rush a lot of the time, or New Orleans, where they've always had pretty good pass rush. That today, I can tell you, the Atlanta Falcons have a top 5 pass rush, just based on sacks. They have 29 sacks, which puts them at number 5 in the National Football League, and they're 3-6. I want you to think about that. The one thing that we say every year, can they fix it? Can they fix it? They're top 5. Now, I have not looked. I should have, and I'm mad at myself. I should have looked at the other 4. I'm going to guess none of them are 3-6. But the Falcons, with a top 5 pass rush in terms of sacks, is 3 games under 500. So even in the year when they finally get it right, they can't do anything with it.
Matt Ryan never stopped playing good football here. He went to Indianapolis and it just ended there. But here he was always good up until the very end. What amazed me is in the NFL, if you have a quarterback at Matt Ryan's level, you were guaranteed 8-8, and so you're supposed to be in the playoffs. And this team never did that. If you get the pass rush figured out, that is the single most transformational thing you can do on defense. And I think some of this is real, not just Jalen Walker and Pierce, but like Harrison is turning into a ball player. Ulbrich doesn't mind being aggressive with the calls. So they have young talent that likes to fly around, and some of it's linemen and some of it's interior. Like, this is unusual stuff to have so many guys on their first contract and really just kind of stretching their legs. And you've got a DC who'll say, okay, I'll push that button. So as pass rush wise, yes, they have figured that out, it looks like.
Ulbrich knows he can't get home with 4 most times, so they blitz. They're one of the blitz heaviest teams in the league. When you get into 3rd and over 6 with the Falcons defense,
here it comes.
But you have to guess where it's coming from. So they're very good at that. What has to happen in the years moving forward is we're going to be able to rush 4. We're going to have James Pierce on one edge. We're going to have Zach Harrison, Rukaroro. We're going to have Brandon Dorlus. Wow. Yeah. What a find, Brandon Dorlus. That we're going to be able to say to our 4, we think we can get home with you. Now, we'll still bring blitzes. Caden Ellis has one of the best win rates in a pass rush of anybody in the league. Caden Ellis is going to turn out to be quietly one of the better free agent pickups this team has ever made. So they can still blitz and get, have the things they need to do. But when they get to the point where they can just rush 4, then all of a sudden they get scary. But let me give you the numbers. Do you remember how many sacks they had a year ago? I told you they have 29 already through 9 games. You remember they finished with what last year?
They have 30 last year, or 29. Or 31
sacks. Now, in 2023, we acted like they were the Steel Curtain, the Purple People Eaters, the 85 Bears. They had 42 sacks, which, again, 40-plus sacks. Oh, my God.
They had 19 one year, didn't they?
Well, here's the thing. In 2022, they had 21 sacks. In 2021, they had 18 sacks.
Oh, gosh.
In 2020, they finished with 29. And then in 2019, they finished with 28. So they've already got as many, if not more, than 4 of the last 5 years. And with a 3-sack game in Week 10, you're going to have it better in 5 of the last 6 years. And in 10 games in, you'll have a better sack total than the last 5 of the 6 years. In fact, here are some numbers. The Falcons have recorded 5 or more sacks in 3 games this season. That's tied for the most in any single season for the Falcons all time. And they're 3-6. I mean, okay. Like, if you would have told me before the year in Week 9 going to Week 10 they have a top 5 pass rush, I would tell you they're 6-3, but they're 3-6. Now go make it make sense. You could talk about the offensive issues. You could do the coaching. You could do all of. There are a lot of reasons, but you should never be 3-6 with a top 5 pass rush.
It's the price they're paying, though, because you mentioned the math there. And here, think of it this way. It's not just getting home with 4. Drop 7 into coverage then. If you can play zone behind pressure on the quarterback, you're going to win almost always because you drop 7 NFL players into coverage. How many guys are you putting in the pattern? 3, maybe 4. I have 7. So there's your key, but they don't have guys necessarily just winning their one-on-one battles.
Not yet.
And not yet. And they don't have guys in those positions. I mean, they're bringing James Pierce and Jalen Walker from different spots. So there's a whole lot going on here. They have not gotten to the spot where they're just winning on talent and matchups. They have to gin it up a little bit. So credit for doing what you have to, but what you want to do is get to the part where you're playing zone back there, and it's a big advantage.
So one note that Tori McElhaney of Falcons.com had that Jalen Walker and James Pierce are the only rookies in the NFL to record a sack, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery this season.
are dynamic players, and they did that twice with each other.
Back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
They just switched the roles of what they did. So it gives you some hope for the future that it's even going to get better.
And like I said, that's athletic. That's real. Zach Harrison, that's athletic. That's real.
Brandon Dorless again.
That's real.
So the Falcons are on pace for 54 sacks, their highest total since 1997. That team set the single-season Falcon mark of 55 sacks. That was the year before they went to the Super Bowl. So just to give you a little context of how rare it is for what they're on pace for. Doesn't mean they'll sustain the pace, but they're a top 5 defense, and they're 3-6.